Charles, there's AEI, I think it's Michael Rubin, wrote that Morsi was able to do in 1 year what it took Mubarak 3 decades to do, which was turn the Egyptian population against him. What do you think the administration should do?
Well, I don't think I've ever said this, but I think Carney actually got it exactly right today, and that is to essentially to take a middle way and postpone our decision. My regard for John McCain is unlimited, but I think he got it wrong when he said that we should suspend aid. What we need to do now is to suspend judgment. And the reason is that we have a paradoxical situation. This was a democratically elected government, but it was a government that was dismantling the democracy under which it was elected. Just one fact. In 1 year, Morsi had more prosecutions of journalists and activists than the Mubarak regime had in 30 years. And remember that Morsi, shortly after his election, he declared that he had dictatorial powers, unrestrained by the judiciary or by the parliament. So if you have a democratically elected government that is dismantling the democracy, you have something unexpected. And that's why I think we've got a lot of lawyers in the State Department, and their job is to find a way around the rigid law that we have or to actually amend it. Because in this situation, what the administration has to do is to wait and see how this develops. If, on the one hand, the Army is able to construct a government of bureaucrats that will start a process to a new constitution and to elections, and secondly, on the part of the Brotherhood, if it decides it's going to go into guerrilla war against the Army the way that the Islamists in Algeria did in '92, in which case we will have an easy choice.
But Charles, you have excoriated the administration numerous times for being out of the Middle East, not being active and engaged and leaving a vacuum there. Now you're saying don't get in, despite you're the U.S. in this situation. You have a lot of leverage over there.
One of the reasons that we are where we are now is because since the beginning of this administration, the withdrawal from Iraq, the total withdrawal, the withdrawal from Libya after leading from behind, the inaction in Syria, and the way that the policy was completely undetermined in the Mubarak era, they led to a situation where you have a vacuum. But as of today, with the situation changing hourly, we are not in a position to decide which way to go, and it would be a mistake to do it right now. Ambiguity and watching which way it goes is what I think our policy ought to be. Otherwise, we can make a huge mistake if we acted prematurely right now.
Last word, Fred.
The last word is, the problem is we've been waiting around during the entire Obama administration, and we've been buffeted. We haven't had a policy, been buffeted around, and I'm not sure any good now can come from waiting.
Suspension of aid will only hurt our cause and the cause of the Democrats.
Oh, I agree. We should keep the aid, because that's one of the levers we have of influence.
And that's what the administration is doing. It's waiting and watching.
I agree with that.
I leave for a week, and last word just goes out the door.
That's what happens.